Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lex Talks Stuff podcast, the podcast where we talk about whatever I feel like. And today, I have a returning guest, Mr. Mario Lima. Would you care to introduce yourself and what you do?
What's happening, everybody? Yes, I'm Mario Lima. I am one half of the Connery Curious podcast, also the founder of Friggin Nerds Media, where we cover everything nerdy, whether it be comic books, movies, television shows, video games, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm happy to be here again to talk about some more comic books and TV shows and everything else on the nerdy side. I'm very excited, very excited. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, of course, man. I loved having you and Dylan on the last time, and I had a feeling that this is something that the topic we're covering today, I thought you would be interested in, considering that today we're going to be pitching Spider-Man media. Like we got ideas for like movies, TV shows. I know you got a TV show that you definitely want to pitch.
Oh yeah. And MCU is in a interesting spot right now, um, where we'll talk about that once we get into it. But like it's just like with the big announcement of not I don't know if it's the full cast, but we're getting that cast. We got the cast of Doomsday
Hmm.
with the chairs,
Yeah.
and I sat there like every other buffoon that day, just staring to see what's the next name. Because at first I thought because it was Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth was the first one.
Hmm.
And it sat there for a while. I'm like, are they just gonna drop a trailer for a new Thor movie? It's kind of a weird time to do that. And then you get Vanessa Kirby, the
Hmm.
Invisible Woman.
Hmm.
What? And then I'm like, oh, they're doing the next Avengers movie. And then of course we had the big bombshell of all these returning Fox X-Men
Hmm.
actors. Of course, you have Nightcrawler, of course, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Magneto, and Professor X coming back again. So it's a very odd time for MCU right now, where it's like we're having this massive event happening right now, and the character we are talking about today, Spider-Man, is kind of oddly sandwiched in the middle of this two-part event because they announced it already. Marvel loves to drop their timeline, whether it be confirmed or not, but it looks like it's confirmed. It's Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, and then Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where we're going here, but I have many ideas for where that character could go after this event for sure.
Mm. Yeah, no, I feel like Marvel is kind of the Wild West right now, where it's just like this thing of you don't know what's going to happen. Something great might happen, something terrible might happen. Who knows? I've been slowly getting back into it. I didn't see Brave New World unfortunately. I kind of did, and then I kept forgetting that it was there.
I had a good time with it. It was I think it's coming to Disney Plus. It's on digital right now, I believe. So Disney
Hmm.
Plus, I'm sure it's around the corner. I
Yeah.
had I had a pretty decent time watching it. Like it wasn't like I just went into it just having fun. And it's a fun movie. Harrison Ford was great in it.
Yeah.
He was fantastic for sure.
Yeah, and I've been watching Born Again. I haven't watched the last three episodes yet.
Oh, so good, so good. It's not perfect. There's some writing
Hmm.
issues, but
Hmm.
it's really good. I'm really
Yeah.
liking it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this briefly because it'll relate to what I wanted to pitch later, but I want to say with Born Again, when I watched the first episode, and this is spoilers to anyone listening. And what's funny is I had already talked about the first couple of episodes with Tess on my last episode, and like our opinion, and we filmed it right after we saw the first two episodes of Born Again, and our feelings were the first episode was a little rocky for both of us, where even though everyone was back, you know, R.I.P. poor Foggy, and then they made Karen go away to San Francisco. And to me, that really put like a poison in my mouth at the time. Like I was saying that I was like, Man, Disney really wanted to make the magic of what made the original Daredevil show go away, didn't they? It's how it felt. You're nodding. I think you know something. I'm not gonna bounce it out of you.
Yeah, I won't spoil, especially if we have 3 episodes to go. It's a very important 3 episodes for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a comic book fan, I kind of know where they're going,
Hmm.
especially with the Foggy
Hmm.
stuff, and they kind of
Yeah.
alluded to it towards the end of the show. Kind
Yeah.
of, but like it's there is still hope there, and it's definitely. I mean, we're geared up for season two. Season two
Hmm.
is happening. See, 30 shots of the new suit. The double
Yeah.
D's in the chest are happening. We're
Yeah.
getting
Which
the
I'm.
finally,
Yeah, we haven't
finally.
gotten that since. Did Ben?
Affleck.
Yeah, did Ben Affleck? Did
Affleck
he?
had the
Yes, he
D's.
did have it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and he would put the logo in the fire. Remember, like when they're in the
Hmm.
subway, and he throws the match down, and the D's are there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's looking good. It's the black and red suit. It looks like.
Mm,
But we had it showed in the trailer when Born Again came out. He has all
yeah.
the colors. He
Hmm.
has the yellow. He has the black. He has a bunch of different red ones.
Yeah.
So we're going to see other suits. We saw the yellow one already in She-Hulk, but don't talk about She-Hulk. That
I
wasn't Daredevil. That
I
wasn't Daredevil.
I will say, I remember when they announced on the She-Hulk show that they were going to have the yellow and red suit. I was like, oh, not the yellow and red suit. No one likes the yellow and red suit of Daredevil. Even the only time I liked it was in Tim Sale's drawing when he did Daredevil Yellow with Jeff
Hmm.
Loeb. Like that was good. Because Tim Sale just draws everything great.
Yeah.
That rest in peace. Uh, but yeah, and then they had it on the show, and I was just like, oh, it's just the TV show suit, but just with a different color scheme. And I was like, this actually kind of looks good, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I'm glad we stuck to the classic red for the
Hmm.
show, and
Yeah.
now we're moving on to black and red. Just keep going with the those comic accurate dudes. That's the thing. Marvel is starting to finally understand
Hmm.
we can be comic accurate. Like I think we really broke the mold with Deadpool and Wolverine, where
Mm,
finally after 20 plus years we have Wolverine in yellow and blue. We
mm,
saw Gambit in the classic with the headband and like the jacket.
hmm.
It's like just do it like that, man. I mean, there's certain
Yeah.
suits over the years that have been pretty good. Like I always love which I'm trying to think Captain America, which one had the scales? Was that
I think that
Age of
was in
Ultron?
I think that was in Endgame that it had the
Endgame.
scales.
And the end of Endgame. Yes, that's right. Last fight.
Yeah.
That's the best Captain America suit, in my opinion.
I would say like either his Age of Ultron suit or no, his Age of Ultron suit because even though it doesn't have the scales, I think it has all the traits I love about a Captain America suit and bright colors. Because then when you see Civil War, I feel like the colors were dyed down a bit.
Yeah, so Civil War and especially uh Winter Soldier, I think it's a black suit basically. It's like
Yeah, it was like a dark navy suit.
yeah,
Huh,
it's like
funny,
to
he was at sea. Uh,
yeah, but to really show how like serious that movie's supposed to be. That's still one of my top MCU movies.
oh,
That's a
same.
tremendous movie. But yeah, but now we're like because people they're so afraid to like be
Yeah,
like the source material was colorful, man. Like just
yeah.
like have it be that way. So that's why like I think moving forward, I mean, we finally as circling back to the character we're going to be talking about today, Spider-Man. I'm so excited to see that new suit that we got at the
Hmm.
end No Way Home because that is by far it's actually featured in the Spider-Man 2 game by Insomniac. They put it in the game, so that's the best time to look at it is in that game. So I was like dissecting it and I'm like the spider looks good on the back. It's kind
Yeah.
of it's truly a mixture.
Although it's a thinner spider on the back, right?
It's definitely a mixture, which is what they went for in the movie, which is supposed to be inspired by the other two
Mm,
Spider-Men. So it's kind of like it's the back of Toby's, but it's smaller. The front has a very thin spider as well. Like I like the
mhm.
big red
Yeah,
blocky, which I hope they will bring at some point. But
yeah.
like, but this is the best thing I think we can get because
Hmm.
I think because and like this I remember when we first got that uh Civil War trailer
Hmm.
revealing Spider-Man was going to be in it holding the shield and the eyes moved. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, they found a way to do that." So
Yeah.
now that you're getting that classic suit now that we see at the end of No Way Home,
Hmm.
mixed in with the moving eyes, you have a perfect Spider-Man suit. Keep
Yeah.
that design and moving forward. Seeing how we'll see how far we go with Spider-Man after this, but Tom Holland I know is kind of talking about being done soon. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think Marvel's gonna be done after this Avengers thing. We're gonna have a hard reboot. I'm dead serious. Like I think we're going to be
Yeah.
hard rebooting, and we need to because comic books do it all the time. How
Yeah.
many times I have books upon books of Spider-Man restarting. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And then they can just pick and choose who they want. They're like, okay, who wants to up their contracts for the next 10 years? Okay, Pedro, Anthony Mackie,
Yeah,
just stay here, come here, just do like a adjusted version of Hickman's Fantastic Four. I mean, not
yeah.
Fantastic Four, Secret Wars,
Secret Wars.
where some things are changed, some things are different, because a few characters died before Secret Wars and during Secret Wars, and then were brought back. Uh, so instead, so instead of just like bringing back, Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, they just keep them dead. They're just like, oh yeah, their legacy lives on. It just we're not going to, we I don't want them to rob Anthony Mackie of being Captain America.
Yeah,
You just got your movie. Yeah, I can't wait to have my own trilogy. Oh, rebooting. Sorry, Anthony. Go into the closet. No one wants to see you again. It's like, no.
no, they'll keep him for a while, I'm sure, but like
And he's happy to do it.
yeah, just have that run, but eventually you're gonna want like who's gonna be the next Tony Stark, who's gonna be the next Steve Rogers, who's gonna be the next Spider-Man. I know obviously characters move on, but it's like me and Dylan talk about it all the time.
Hmm.
The MCU ended when Endgame happened,
Hmm.
in our opinion. That should have been the end, and then start fresh with something else
Hmm.
because now we're at the point in this timeline where you introduced way too many characters that you're like overbooking yourself,
Hmm.
and now like what are we doing? We're at the biggest event you could possibly hit, which is great. I'm excited for next year. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
I'm excited for a bunch of things to come out. But at the same time, where's Vision been?
Yeah.
Where's Moon Knight been?
Yeah.
Where have all these
Even
characters been?
She-Hulk, regardless how you feel about the show,
Hulk
where
in
is she?
general.
Yeah, Hulk in
Where
general.
is Hulk? Like Hulk went and brought back his ugly son, and then we haven't seen him since. Like he's the most important. He's what? I mean, like I know that.
That design was rough.
Oh my God, that's the worst looking Hulk ever. Because I just rewatched Age of Ultron is my favorite Avengers movie. So I rewatch that very frequently. That's one of my favorite designs of Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
next to Ang Lee's Hulk. I
Mm-hmm.
love Ang Lee's Hulk, but just the way that one looks. But you look at the timeline of how even the first Avengers movie, it looks great, but you see the evolution where, like, I understand they went into the smart Hulk territory where he looks
Mm-hmm.
just like Ruffalo. Even now, Hulk looks a little better, but then you went the route and She-Hulk looked so bad and you made that character so goofy where I like Hulk is supposed to be a very tr very like serious and traumatic character,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just making him a goofball and he's doing yoga and it's just really ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
so I just yeah we're in that weird point right now where it's like you have so many characters to play with, but you're not booking them properly, and like you have very little time to do like I better not see Moon Knight show up like and be like, "Yeah, he's gonna fight." Who is this guy? We gotta explain for 2 hours who this guy is because people aren't gonna remember who he is. Not everybody
Yeah.
watches the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Casual fans may not even watch the shows. That's why I was kind of against the shows for a while because it's like, oh, now you have to make these people watch shows to understand movies. and not
Hmm.
everybody has Disney Plus, not everybody wants to watch that. Like
Yeah.
I have casual friends who are like casual MCU friends who are like, who's this character? Oh, they were introduced to the TV show. Oh,
Mhm.
they had a TV show? They had no idea. They don't know who
Yeah.
Moon Knight is or She-Hulk or it was for the Marvels.
Yeah, exactly.
To watch the Marvels, you have to watch at least two shows.
Mm,
WandaVision and then Miss Marvel. You had to watch those two shows. And if you didn't watch them, the Marvels is nothing to you.
yeah.
It's like, what are you watching? I don't know any of these characters, and they're supposed to be important because, like, at the end of that movie, you gave us our first X-Men crossover.
Yeah,
And
which
I'm
I will
like,
say I've seen the post-credit scene of that, and Beast looks fantastic. I love that
it
design.
looks like X-Men '97.
Hmm.
It looks like the animated series. Like, he looks great. I think and it's still going to be, what's his name, Frasier,
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer,
Kelsey
which
Grammer,
I'm
which
I'm
is
fine with, and he's going to
uh,
be in Doomsday, so
yeah,
no
I'm
complaints.
all in. I love that iteration of the X-Men. I think they're going to be. It's like they're going to be bringing. That's the thing everyone's saying. It's like, why are we bringing back these actors to bring these characters back? It's not going to make sense. I'm like, it's going to make sense. It's going to be the same actors, but it's going to. I think it's going to be X-Men '97. Like they're all going to look like X-Men '97 characters,
Hmm.
the classic X-Men, but
Yeah,
it's just going to be the familiar actors to like help you get through it because I mean that's just that's why that's another reason why I think it's ending because
yeah.
this is the final
Hmm.
celebration of the history of Marvel.
Hmm.
And we already got Toby and Andrew Garfield back at one point. We're getting all the, Deadpool Wolverine was a crazy spot fest of all these old characters from the Fox universe. So I think once we just kind of blow that load one more time of all these great characters, then we'd be like, Doctor Doom fucking wipes it, clean slate. Sure, you could bring your Sam Wilsons and all that back, but just start slowly back to the beginning, and
Hmm.
then do it differently.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere else to go after Doomsday. There should be nowhere else to go. Or Secret Wars, sorry. After Secret Wars, there should be nowhere else to go. Even in the
Yeah.
comics, like you're like, where do we go from this? We start over.
Yeah. I don't know, Civil War 2.
My God, please, no,
No, I
don't do
know.
it. I
Yeah.
am hoping that Doomsday is going to be like X-Men versus Avengers. That's how
That'd
they
be
should
kind of
book it.
fun. That'd be
That's
kind of
how
fun.
that's how they should book it because just to have that moment, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And we were talking about like the designs, and I think they'll give the X-Men good designs. Because like I was saying, like I think we're getting good costumes now. And DC's already been doing this for years. I love the Superman suit that James Gunn has right now.
So good.
I'm not crazy about the lines in the suit, but for me, take away the lines, and it's a 10 out of 10 Superman suit.
And it kind of wrinkles at the sleeve. So like people
Yeah,
complain about that, like it should be skin tight. I'm like, it doesn't need to be skin tight, but like
yeah.
he's really going for a classic Superman look, and like I appreciate that.
And he doesn't look super baggy. He doesn't look like he's wearing a hoodie.
I'm sure. I mean, these are all behind the scenes stuff too. I'm sure when the movie actually comes out, it's going to be like not CGI, but like it'll look nicer, it'll look cleaner. But like
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Like I like that. That's getting more colorful. Like I'm excited to see what his Batman's going to look like. I hope it's like
Mhm.
blue.
Yes,
Like the
blue,
blue.
gray, little yellow in the emblem, and
Yes, I think
white eyes.
that's what I got to do. Yeah, yeah. There's no excuse. After Deadpool and Wolverine, everything has to have the white eyes. And
Hmm.
like you got to do it because it looks so good. It adds to the image, man. It's just like, oh my God, like I was in awe when every time I go back to that scene of Logan finally putting the mask, the cowl over and the white eyes. I was like, that's it, man. That's
Yep.
how it's supposed to look. That is how it's
Hmm.
supposed to
It looked
look.
intimidating too. It was kind of
It
scary.
does, yeah. It's like he looks like, especially when they come out of the back of the bus, they have that classic image. I think it's from a book. I forget which book it is, but like just
Yeah.
them coming out. I'm like, oh my God, it looked so good. So yeah, I think that opened some doors for people to be like, okay, we can get more. more cartoony with it, and it works.
Yeah, I know, and I hope we do the same with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spider-Man,
Let's talk. That's all about
let,
Spider-Man. I could talk about
let's
Spider-Man for days.
same. I will admit that as big of a Spider-Man fan as I am, I have not read a lot of Spider-Man comics.
Really?
I've read the J. Michael Straczynski run on Spider-Man. I've read Ultimate Spider-Man, which are the two best modern runs on Spider-Man.
Love Ultimate
I've
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, even the new one I've been reading, and it's fantastic. Like, have you read the Hickman one yet?
Like the old Hickman ones.
No, 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 no. The new Hickman Ultimate Spider-Man that's been coming
Oh,
out.
oh, I've been so bad with books lately. I haven't read much lately, but I've heard some that came out that started what 2024, 2025.
Yeah,
Started this year.
2024.
It did start last year. Okay,
hmm
so I'm probably not super behind in it.
I think it's on its like
But
15th issue, but it's dude, it's so good.
I'm
It's
looking at the
everything
art.
I've been wanting.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The art is great on
Oh
it.
yeah. Like, did you ever read Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run?
I haven't.
Marco Cicchetto is the primary artist on that book, and he's drawing Ultimate Spider-Man right now, and it looks fantastic.
Wow.
I
Okay.
love the sketchiness of it, and he also just draws beards very well. Like if you look at like Marco Cicchetto, like how everybody looked in like Devil's Reign, like he draws Mr. Fantastic with a beard and
Mm,
it looks so good. He drew Matt with a beard and the Red Fist saga, and it looked good. And Peter with a beard, and it looks good. And I'm just like, wow, like you draw people with beards very well.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out. Yeah, like I think that's what they went for. I don't know if you played Marvel Rivals at all.
I
It's like,
sadly haven't. I don't have a PC or
uh
PS5.
it's like it's fun, but the designs they come out with that for those characters, like they'll always come out with different costumes based on comics and stuff like that. But
Mhm,
when Reed Richards came out, had him with the full beard and like the kind of wavy hair, and I was like, I
mhm,
appreciate that. That's kind of cool that they would come out with that, and like even like Iron Man, they have like Superior Iron Man stuff like that.
mhm,
But yeah, there's some really cool. Yeah, I like Spider Man with the beard sometimes. Sometimes it looks very dope. But like, yeah, I'm loving how the suit looks in this classic suit, which is just
mhm.
again that's the most important aspect of Spider-Man for me. Like every time I talk to my friends about it all the time, it's like even like the new cartoon that came out,
Mhm,
uh, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I enjoyed. I thought it was good, but like at the end we get the classic suit,
mhm.
and the only detail that bothered me about it is that the feet under the feet were blue.
Oh,
Those are the details I don't like. I
mm.
go crazy with. It's like the dumbest little thing. It's because the under the shoe was blue. I don't know why. It distracted me because because you see him swing and it's always just red. It's just red under his foot.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how like annoying I get about Spider-Man's design and everything.
No, I'm the same way. If I said that in front of Tess, she would look at me and go, "Really?" I'd
It
be like, "I'm
matters.
sorry, babe. This is what you're getting
It's
into."
like the eyes are too small or something. Like I get
Mm-hmm.
the webbing
Mm-hmm.
looks weird. Like something
Yeah.
will throw me off. Like I am so critical about how Spider-Man looks, and it's crazy.
Mhm. But yeah, but yeah, I know we got our pitches, and I got like some thoughts about like where I want to take Peter. And I think you and I both agree that we want to see Peter go through college. We want to see Tom Holland's Peter go through college.
Yes, yes, but the way they're doing it right now is odd. I mean, we have to see how Fantastic Four ends
Mm,
because my big thing with with Spider-Man is at some point he's got to be pals with Johnny Storm.
hmm I want that.
Like it's always happened in the comics. I have a couple comics somewhere. It was like a very small run. It was just called Spider-Man Human Torch, and it was just them
Ooh.
in Manhattan just doing shit together and like fucking around. It was very buddy buddy,
Mhm.
but I don't know if like at the end of Fantastic Four, is this Galactus fight going to somehow send them into the
Yeah.
MCU, and then like maybe they have to be undercover or something, and he just goes to college. I don't know. They got to
Yeah.
find a way to get those two together. But like you have so many opportunities here because again, speaking of fresh slates, No Way Home. My favorite part about that movie is the end
Hmm.
because it erases everything from like it literally erases Peter Parker from existence. And it's literally a fresh start where everyone knows Spider-Man,
Hmm.
but no one knows who Spider-Man is. So you have all this
Yeah.
opportunity to like sure you can like yeah, they kind of like tease like maybe MJ remembers a little bit,
Yeah.
but now you can bring in Gwen Stacy.
Hmm.
You can bring in Black Cat, you know, bring in different love interests. Then, of course, introduce your Harry Osborn,
Yeah.
introduce your Eddie Brock,
Mm,
especially if Secret Wars is around the corner. And if you're going to do what I think you're going to do, I'm assuming you're going to have a symbiote story start there. It better not be a symbiote booger on a bar
yeah.
because that's what drove me nuts is they
Yeah.
left the symbiote booger in the bar in the MCU and just the tease is like, oh, the symbiote exists there. No,
Actually,
that's not what happens.
and then I think in Venom 3 I didn't see it, but I think they captured that and are like, "Nope, you're not going anywhere."
No, that's the thing. They capture it in a different timeline.
Yeah. Which, you know what? I'll be honest, that was the thing that kind of upsets me about like MCU Spider-Man and some of the MCU stuff in general. I'm just like, you're saying all the stuff, a lot of the stuff I like in Marvel is in alternate timelines, like mutants, symbiotes, and goblins. You
Yeah,
mean why can't it just exist here?
legal. It's like
Yeah, I know
it's just
because
all this crazy. That's why we can't get a good Hulk, a good
mhm,
Spider-Man. I mean,
'cause-
now we can because I think now the rights have kind of moved over to Disney. But like, that's why we can't get a lot of these good things. I mean, you know, Sony's making these god awful villain movies,
yeah, which after
Madam Web and Craven. Like, no one wants to see that. I
yeah,
want to see Spider-Man fighting those characters. You know what I mean?
yeah, that would be fun. Like, and after Craven, they were like, "We're not doing these anymore," and I'm like, "Thank you. You
Yeah,
you
they
are
need to
you
stop.
are now you went from my enemy to my hero now because you stopped."
Yeah, like it's like I love those characters, man.
Hmm.
Like there's so many cool Spider-Man is the Marvel's Batman. He has the best rogues gallery of villains,
Hmm.
and you can do so much. They've already done like they've done some of my favorite ones already. They got Vulture out of the way already, Mysterio
Yeah.
out of the
Hmm.
way. They were able to kind of shimmy away with giving us Lizard, Doc Ock,
Yeah.
Electro, and all them kind of.
Yeah.
But he needs his own version of those characters for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
But you have so many other ones that you can mess with in just a street level setting. So going back to how this should move, like yes, having it in between two Avengers movies sucks because this dude doesn't get a break.
Hmm.
It's like Spider-Man got his powers, immediately went to go fight with the Avengers,
Hmm.
like well against the Avengers. He went it was Iron Man's team fighting against Captain America at an airport as his
Hmm.
first mission ever, and then he comes
Yeah.
back home. Then he has to deal with Vulture, and then he has to deal with the losing revealing his identity because of Mysterio.
Hmm.
He goes to space with the Avengers. He's done so much, and he's not done a single street level thing. And I
Yeah.
was hoping Spider-Man 4 was going to be a street level movie, but if
I
you're going to
don't
put
think so.
if you put it in the middle of Avengers movie, you literally can't because everyone's gonna be like, well, this is during the events of Avengers. How are you gonna do this?
Yeah.
What they should have did, which it did, it will never happen. Never happen in a million years. Um, this is it's not really a spoiler, but why can't he help Daredevil fight Fisk?
Mm. That was a movie that I wanted to pitch a little later in the
Put it
episode.
on TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, like the fact that that always drives me nuts because you have so many heroes in New York
Hmm.
that it always makes me laugh when something major happens, like a bomb goes off in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
You tell me Spider-Man's not going to go check that out? Like he's not just stuck in Queens. He
Yeah.
takes care of all of New York. So where
Absolutely.
is he? Like
Hmm.
he gets a name drop. Fisk first episode or second episode? First
Yeah, yeah, it was
episode.
the first episode. He's
He's
like,
like, we don't need any vigilantes dressed as devils or spiders. And I'm like, he's talking about Spider-Man. He
yeah,
knows who
no,
Spider-Man is.
yeah, no, I got super excited when he said
Yeah.
that because now
So
I want to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man fight Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin,
yeah.
and they both want to do it. So it's like, hey,
Yeah, but I think Vincent came out and he said, I guess there's
yeah, yeah,
legal
yeah.
stuff he can't be in movies, I guess.
Or
So
it's like he can't be in like certain TV shows or stuff like that.
something like yeah, it's like
Yeah.
ridiculous. I'm
Oh,
like then keep it separate then. Don't tell me it's connected because it's like it's just so annoying. Like I've been promised this for so long. I was promised this back in the original shows when they were on Netflix, like Luke Cage.
mm-hmm.
Luke Cage happened after Avengers, where they mentioned that, like, how come you're not fighting with those guys uptown?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you've always connected it and teased that's connected, but refuse to have these characters show up. Like, why can't we have a Spider-Man fighting in like a bar or something, and then Luke Cage and Iron Fist come out together and fight? That's a show I would love too.
Yeah.
But it's just such it's just so frustrating that you have to book. So I have a problem, Lex. I have an obsession with wrestling, and I compare everything to wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like why are they booking Spider-Man so hot right now and making
Mm-hmm.
him like a main eventer and everything when
Mm-hmm.
he should really be like kind of working in the independents and like doing small things where he's fighting the Shocker or Scorpion or something.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, no, we're gonna put him up against Thanos
Yeah.
and frickin' these crazy high level characters. You're gonna send them to freaking Wakanda or
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's just
Mhm.
it's so frustrating as a fan of Spider-Man.
Yeah. But yeah, do you mind if I pitch my first one?
Pitch it away.
So, and I think I talked to you about this a little bit last year when I was on you guys' podcast, Connery Curious, Hunt for Red October. I think the camera stopped down for a bit. And while Dylan was fixing the camera, you and I were just talking back and forth about how we feel about Spider-Man. We had pretty similar feels about Spider-Man and still
Yeah.
do. My pitch for Spider-Man 4, I don't have a title for any of these movies. I'm just like Spider-Man 4. Let the story speak for itself. Um, I want Peter in college. He's figuring himself out. I don't want to touch too much on the whole no one remembers Peter Parker thing because then that goes into, well, is he out of photos now of his class? Because they showed that in a deleted scene, and I'm like, that complicates things. I'm like, what about his social security? What about his dental records? Like how can he get a job or an apartment without any of that stuff? Like it requires paperwork. There's logistical things that I don't think Marvel really thought of. But
Mm.
that's me. I wouldn't get too much into that. My little like acknowledgement of it is he would just, excuse me, he would be like talking to someone he knew from high school and be like, "Hey, it's me, Peter." And they're like, "I don't remember you at all." It's like, "Don't worry, nobody really does." Like harping on the whole Peter Parker is a loser thing.
Mm.
So that would be my little like acknowledgement of it. And he's going through college and he enters and he meets up with his buddy Norm Harry Osborn. Like they like and they're not really like friends. They're more like they just know each other in school, like in college. They're both going to what is it, NYU?
At that
I
point,
think
probably, yeah.
yeah, I think they're at NYU. Like they were in the comics, like they had been roommates. And I said I hadn't really read a lot, but I've looked up a lot and fact checked a lot and seen a lot, even if I haven't like, read some of these comics myself. Like I know the first appearance of like so and so character. I just haven't read it personally myself, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know if that disqualifies me as a fan or not. I don't know, but
No, you read what you read. You know, you don't have to read everything. Some people are like they're gonna read every single thing. No, you
yeah.
read what you like.
Yeah. And I will get to some of them because they're fun. But so they were roommates in college, and I think that'd be fun. And the villain of the movie should be Hobgoblin.
Really, you do Hobgoblin right off the jump.
Yes, but
Okay.
here's where I'm going with it. So when Hobgoblin was first introduced, it was like a mystery. Who is the Hobgoblin? Who is this person behind the mask? Who is using this technology? And Peter immediately thinks, Hobgoblin? Oh, I guess this guy's different from Green Goblin. I don't know. And, he has his suspicions because, yes, he knows Harry Osborn, but also we meet his father, Norman Osborn, who I picked to play for him, is Daniel Craig.
Whoa.
I want Daniel Craig to play Norman Osborn. I think he would be great with it. I I
Interesting.
haven't seen all of Logan Lucky, but where he played like a convict and he had like a southern accent and he had like a wild look in his eyes. I want to see Daniel Craig do that, and I think it would be very different for him. Like he doesn't need to play the cool because he clearly likes playing the more out there characters or
Hmm.
less composed all the time, which his Bond is very much a more composed individual. Not all
Well,
the time,
I think
but
that's what James Bond does to you because, as we cover in the Connery Curious podcast, where it's like when he got done with that, he was able to do different stuff because he was so stuck to that character.
mhm.
So, someone like Daniel Craig, I'm sure you look at him now. As soon as he got done, grew out his hair. He's got a
Hmm.
beard.
Yep.
He's like I don't have to be all neat and tidy anymore. I can just do what I want to do now because I don't have to wear a tuxedo every 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a nice different role for him. Him in general in the MCU would be very interesting.
Yeah. Apparently he was supposed to be Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. And
Really.
then he got COVID, and then they got John Krasinski instead.
Well, Krasinski, that was the fans' fault, I think, too, because everyone was like, "Oh, Krasinski was just a good Mr. Reed Richards." I'm like, "Well, okay,
I
we
mean,
got it."
he didn't get a fair chance, in my opinion, to truly do a lot. It was also just what was given to him. He probably could have done a
Mm.
lot more had he been given a lot more, but that's a conversation for another day.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, and with the Hobgoblin being around, it would just be a Peter trying to figure out, okay, who is the Hobgoblin? I just met Harry, and I knew a Norman Osborn. It's like maybe Norman Osborn's the Goblin. I've had experience in the past. Like I don't know anything about this Norman, but I can only assume things.
Hmm.
And he'll also run into his buddy Ned again, and Ned doesn't remember him. He's like, I don't remember you from high school. It's like, yeah, it's okay. But and Peter's like trying to reconnect and stuff, but also he meets like Roger Kingsley, who is uh like a professor that let's say like teaches because Roger Kingsley is like a costume guy, like he sometimes makes costumes in the comics. And so, like him maybe teaching at NYU in like a business class or something like that, or oh my gosh, my mom taught this, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. She was at Johnson and Wales and taught like selling clothes because she worked in retail for a long time and everything like that, and maybe doing something like that where it can all be connected rather than like how does Peter know this random like uh seamstress guy, like
Hmm.
how does he know him? And so and you make it a big mystery, who is it, and you just mislead a lot. And even like I say, Ned gets caught in the crossfires, not dying, but gets arrested because they think they got the right guy when it was the wrong guy, and it ends with just being like Roderick Kingsley the whole time. And you'll just have this moment of like, it was you the whole time. And like Peter just kind of loses it a little. Like he's like, I can't believe it. Like, and obviously he doesn't kill him or anything like that, but he's just like, I'm gonna make sure you go away a long time because and throughout the film, like Hobgoblin does like a couple things. Like I imagine the scene where like Hobgoblin just like blows up an area and like a little girl gets put into like a coma or something. And then Peter like swings her to the hospital and she's gonna be in like a coma for God knows how long, and Peter's just like on the other side of like the hospital listening, and he's on the outside just hanging on the wall, just about to break down in tears. Just put Spider-Man not through like the complete ringer, but just, have him it would be a little more of a serious Spider-Man movie.
Mm,
Or not or it wouldn't be as jokey, you know.
mm, mm.
And by the end of the movie, Harry would be like, "Hey, I've been hanging out with this girl for a while, and you should hang out with us. Mm, we're not dating or anything like that." Or Harry wants to date this girl, but she doesn't feel the same way. It's like, meet Gwen Stacy.
Enter Gwen Stacy. Okay.
I say, why not? I know that Zendaya is slated to come back in Spider-Man 4. Which I mean, like her and Tom Holland are getting married.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they
that
are
they're
getting
engaged.
married.
Yeah.
So I don't blame Tom for wanting to be like, I want my wife to play my love interest in every movie. I was like, I don't blame you for that. I understand and I love Zendaya, but I don't know. I as much as I liked Michelle Jones, I didn't think she's clearly not MJ Watson. Like I feel like their characterizations are very different. Like I like this character, but it's not the character that I quite know. And I'm not going based off of looks. I'm going based off of just like personality. Like I always know Mary Jane is more outgoing, a little more like fun, and Zendaya is more like, I sketch people in crisis. Like like more people I would hang out with than like fun outgoing supermodels. Because I would rather have fun, like more introverted individuals, considering I'm a introverted individual.
Okay.
But yeah, that's primarily what I would do with the first movie. Just because I've always wanted to see Hobgoblin. We've seen Green Goblin before. We can tease that maybe we'll do a Green Goblin. I cast a Norman Osborn, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, we were almost there. I mean, with Spider-Man 3, I always consider that Hobgoblin, that Harry Osborn situation, which that should have been the movie.
yeah.
That should have been it. If Venom should not have been in that movie because
Hmm.
it's more tragic to have the face off with your best friend.
Yeah,
Kept Sandman stuff, I like the Sandman stuff,
I agree.
but yeah, I think it'd be great to. Yeah, I would watch your movie for
I appre
sure.
I appreciate that. And I know and I would love to see your idea that I know you've talked about in the past integrated. Would you like to go and tell our lovely audience your fantastic pitch?
Well, I have a couple of them, but okay, because the one you're talking about does not involve Spider-Man at all.
Hmm.
The other one does. But to me, my do I have it behind me? I did. They're in the box somewhere. But my favorite Spider-Man comic does not involve Spider-Man. It's called Superior Foes. It's a book that came out. Maybe I have my notes up here. Uh,
I actually just
um,
started reading that not too long ago. I'm a few issues
oh, how
in.
far? How far? Yeah, how far are you?
I want to say like 4 issues in so far. I want to read
Okay.
more, but sadly I've just been so busy with work.
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and wow, Fred, what an asshole.
They're all freaking dipshits. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's a came out 20 July 2013. It was written by Nick Spencer with artwork by Steve Leiber. Debuted as a part of Superior Spider Month, which just had a bunch of different Spider-Man storylines and stuff like that. So this is based through it's the in the eyes of six B-list Spider-Man villains. So it's Boomerang, Beetle, Overdrive, Shocker, and Speed Demon. These are
Mhm.
characters you might know maybe two of them if you're a casual Spider-Man fan, and it's basically it's Suicide Squad or like it
Secret
or in
Six.
yeah like in that vein of like just like they're all just morons doing ridiculous things. Like obviously you're not that far in, like so I don't want to spoil any cameos that are going to be showing up because there are other heroes that show up
Yeah.
and you're like, whoa, that's so cool. So I think that as a show would just work out so well.
Hmm.
'Cause I have a video on YouTube that got some decent attention. I always thought James Gunn would have killed it
Hmm.
because his work with the Guardians movies were great. And then obviously his transition to running DC and these upcoming films and stuff like obviously Peacemaker, massive success.
Hmm.
The Suicide Squad, I guess you can call it a remake, like way better done than the original. Like it was so well done where he does such a good job of mixing humor with heart and pulling on your heartstrings and all that. So I think that needs to be a show. You can run that probably 2 seasons
Hmm.
and call it that because maybe you can probably get it done in 1 season, maybe. Who knows? But I would say maybe 2 seasons. There's officially like there's three bigger books out there, so you probably do 3 seasons. I don't know, but I think it'd be very well done. It's something different for Marvel fans to like. It's what Sony should have done.
Yeah.
If you want to give me all these, you know, you can't legally put Spider-Man. Spider-Man shows up in one panel, and it's the
Yeah.
first panel, and you see him high up in the air swinging. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, that damn Spider-Man, you know, out
Yeah.
there saving people. He's a piece of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Put me away several times, and
Hmm.
I love that about it because it's like it just shows the other side of these really fun characters
Yeah.
because again he has such a funny and awesome rogues gallery of villains, even like the b-side villains, they're just
Yeah.
so much fun to deal with. So you can definitely do it in the MCU,
Hmm.
having those special cameos. I'll just say they're heroes that have shown up in the past in the MCU that you can
Hmm.
bring back the actors for to
Oh
show
yeah.
up
I
for a
know what you're
couple.
talking
So
about.
okay, so you've gotten that far.
Yeah, I
um
saw I saw my favorite power. Well, I don't know if couple's a strong word, but I'll call them a couple.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess we can talk about it. Maybe it'll bring interest in the people reading the book.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Iron Fist and Luke Cage show up at one
Hmm.
point.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You get a tease of who you think. Did you get the other cameo that showed up as well?
I don't think so. Well, I know the
It was kind.
Punisher,
Okay,
but
that's the one I'm talking about.
it wasn't actually Punisher.
There's a bait and switch where we think Punisher shows up to like take down this building, ends up being Chameleon.
Hmm.
And it's such a cool thing. It's so dope that where these villains will show up and tussle it around, and there's like a story to it, but like it's just chaos. It's just pure chaos, and have it be an R-rated show,
Yeah.
you know,
Born Again
because
is doing it right now. They're dropping F-bombs.
F-bombs, blood. Oh my God! Like when you see the last episode, I think the second to last episode, I think it's the last episode,
Hmm.
something very gory happens. And I'm like, this is on Disney Plus. I couldn't believe it. I truly couldn't believe what they did on that show. So yeah, that's so simple enough there. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. If you guys haven't read it, go check it out. It's like it's just begging to be made into a show.
Yeah.
Just to fill up time with whatever content that's out there. But if we're talking about Spider-Man himself, And
Well,
if we're
actually, I'm sorry to cut you off there,
oh no go
Mario, but I just wanted to ask a couple things about your Superior Foes show.
yeah yeah
So, would you just do the comic beat by beat, or would you? Because also, we did get Herman Schultz in Spider-Man Homecoming, and then he got
true
vaporized by the Vulture.
true.
So, would you just get a different Shocker? Or how about this? You just get that this would be funny, but also something that would absolutely happen to Shocker. We just find another guy named Herman. We just find
well
another guy named Herman.
well I did have a vision at one point where how fun would it be just to say it takes place in the Andrew Garfield universe
Hmm.
or possibly the Raimi verse, like just
Yeah.
for shits, because then you can have like those little like moments. Because if we bring back Luke Cage, like Netflix Luke Cage, we just say, oh, he just happens to be the same actor. I mean, look at Doctor Strange. He's Benedict Cumberbatch no matter what
Yeah.
universe you're in.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're different actors. We don't know why, but it's because we can only afford so many actors.
Yeah.
So we'll just say like it'd be a fun little thing to like to tease that wow, it's okay, it's taking place in the Raimi verse, something like that. Because again, I don't want to touch the MCU because the MCU has a very bad habit of killing off all the villains.
Yeah.
So
Which,
like, why you kill them all? You got to fight them again.
yeah,
Put them in
exactly.
Rikers. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, but also apparently like when you talk to normies, they're just like it just makes more sense to kill the bad guy. Why waste breath with someone else? And I'm just like, are we fucked up as a society?
I'm I'm
Yes and
saying.
yes, but that's unrelated. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I with Superior Foes, what I would like to see in the MCU like the first episode. Like a show, like this is a show where you could have cameos while also like that's it's one of the things you could do to like, spice up getting people interested in watching. Like you could do that Punisher bait and switch and cast a chameleon. Like we have John Bernthal show up for 2 minutes and then just Mission Impossible it and it's chameleon instead.
People would go crazy. I think
Yeah,
it'd be hilarious just to do that. I mean, Deadpool gets away with it.
yeah,
Like we literally had Chris Evans come back, bait and switch us, thinking he was Captain America and he was Johnny Storm, and they kill him 5 minutes later.
yeah,
And it's like we just saw him show up. Like they don't need to be there the whole time. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like people are like, "Oh, we didn't get enough Electro. We didn't get enough Gambit." I'm like, "Fuck you. You're gonna get plenty of him later."
yeah.
Like if you want to watch John Perthal be Punisher, watch season 2 of Daredevil Born Again or
or his new
whatever.
or his new Punisher special that he's writing himself.
Yeah, like he's gonna show up in other things and just enjoy. I mean, Echo. I don't know if you watched Echo, but
I've seen little bits and pieces online.
Daredevil shows for 2 seconds as a fight scene,
Yeah,
and then
I
you
saw
never see
that.
him again. Like perfect. That's all we need. It happens in comic books all the time.
Yeah,
That's why I always have to give flowers to Thor Ragnarok, because when I watch that movie, I feel like I'm looking at a comic book
yeah,
because of scenes like Doctor Strange showing up for 5 minutes to help him out with something.
yeah.
Like that just happens in a book. That's something
Hmm.
that would happen. Like, having the Hulk involved
Yeah.
is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, which is something I wish I understand they had to put asses in seats, but if they didn't tell us the Hulk was in the movie, it would have been so much more special.
Hmm.
Same thing with Red Hulk in the new Captain America movie. If they didn't tell us that he was going to become Red Hulk, that would
Yeah,
have been such a, because it's such a Hulk heavy movie, but Red Hulk's barely in it.
yeah. Like
Disappointing.
what they should have done, they shouldn't have spoiled in the trailers that Harrison Ford turns into Red Hulk
Yeah.
because we fans would know, but the normies wouldn't.
Yeah, and we
So
don't
don't
know if
spoil
they would
that.
do that. We're like, why would, yeah, they're like, would they do it? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Would they
Maybe.
do would the yeah, exactly. And I think what you would have to do for the first episode is the first episode is the first 5 minutes. Spider-Man shows up, beats the shit out of the sinister foes, and then runs away. They break out, uh establishing, and then the rest of the episode, it's just them establishing their characters and backgrounds, and then we just see more of them as time goes on, that throughout the show, and then every couple of episodes we could have a cameo. We could put Luke Cage and Iron Fist in the show. We could put Punisher in the show. With hell, we just put Spider-Man in the first 5 minutes and had Tom Holland be like, "See ya, chumps," and then swing away. Like I wouldn't have a problem with that. That way you can be like, "Hey, Spider-Man's here." Now he's gone.
Yeah, just to remind you that it's in that universe, and like it'd be so much fun. But they're too afraid to book something like that, and I get it, I guess. But like I'm just like looking through like art for it, and like they just they look like cool characters.
Yeah.
Like I can see like people like I can see this thing going off and people cosplaying as these characters at
Mm-hmm.
Comic-Con and stuff because I mean look at the if you told me that people would be cosplaying as like Elektra or freaking even Iron Man
Mm-hmm.
like 20 years ago, I would have said no way. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because now there's just household names now.
Mm-hmm.
Your Iron Mans and your Miss Marvels. Like it's just funny when I just talk to people and they're like, what's your favorite Marvel character? And they're like freaking they'll say I don't know, what's something obscure. I mean,
Uh, how about
like they'll bring up
Cannonball,
Moon Knight. No,
Cannonball.
you can't fall. But like Moon Knight is something that like I'm shocked people know about now because
Yeah,
of the show. The show
because
got them into it.
he
So
was
like,
more of an us thing, and then people be like, "Who's Moon Knight? He looks cool."
yeah, and they're like, this
Mm.
guy's hilarious, and then it because like that made people go and read the books. Like every time a show gets announced, people go buy the books, and then the inflation goes up.
Yeah,
Like I remember I saw Moon Knight books for like $20, $30. I'm like, why? Because people want them,
yeah,
and they're in high demand now. So I'm like, it's a good opportunity to like bring in characters that we don't necessarily uh have. Like we had two shockers, but not the shocker I wanted.
yeah.
He has to have the full waffle suit. You know what I mean? Like the waffle yellow and red. He's got to
Yes.
look like Shocker. But yeah, I think Superior Foes is such a genius idea for a show. It's a fun comic run,
Hmm.
and I would love to see it be done in some way.
Yeah. And what you were saying about, like, it would sell some comics too. Like when James Gunn announced his slate, so many comics got sold. And I think that was also his intention too, because I feel like Marvel doesn't really hype up their comic books anymore. I mean, more recently because of Rivals, they've been helping with that, but Marvel Studios, like I wish they had done a thing at like the beginning of a couple of the movies where it's like the actors in front of like a white screen, just being like, "Hey, if you like our movie, here's a couple of recommendations," and then they just,
James Gunn kind of does that here and there. I've noticed. I think he did it for. He might have did it for Superman. Yeah, I think he did it for
yeah,
Superman where he did post like here are some books to like get into. And like yeah, I think absolutely that's something Marvel should really start doing
hmm
because like I had like a friend of mine who like does that where like he sees a movie coming out and he's like I want to learn more about this character before I go in. I want to like know to like
yeah,
kind of get the idea and he's reading something that probably wouldn't connect to the movie at all. Like they
yeah,
want to know about Gore the God Butcher
yeah.
when Love and Thunder came out, which was so disappointing how they treated Gore the God Butcher. But I was
Christian
like,
Bale was good.
yeah,
He
but
was
the
good, but
but Taika Waititi's a fucking idiot and made it. goofy
Yeah.
and stupid. But like that's a great example of like you want to see who Gore the God Butcher is. Let
Hmm.
me show you what because I mean the trailer did a good job of showing specific imagery. Is that one shot of the big giant kaiju god down, which is straight from a comic. I forget which book exactly.
Oh yeah, it was from the God Butcher storyline.
Yeah, so like they did a really good job of doing stuff like that where it's
Yeah.
like because then you have those nerdy content creators like me that go out
Mm.
and tweet out and saying, "Hey, check this out. This is an exact rip from a panel from this book."
Yeah.
So they do a good job of doing that, but they
Yeah.
really need to reiterate that on their stuff so people can be prepared to read the right stuff. Because if you're looking at Spider-Man stuff, there's a lot of Spider-Man stuff out there. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to be like, oh, I want to know about the symbiote story, there's so many different ways he got the symbiote. The,
Yeah.
the the main one is, of course, that we always probably talk about is the Secret Wars way.
Yeah.
But because they've seen the movies and the video games do it differently,
Hmm.
then it's like we're like, okay, so how will he get the symbiote story? Will it
Yeah.
be that booger on the bar? No, hopefully not. It better be in a rock in space,
Hmm.
and that's how he gets it. Because that's what I thought they were going to do in Infinity War.
Yeah.
I really thought that when the second he went, I should have stayed on the bus, and they're on the ship and the doors closed. I'm
Hmm.
like, oh man, do you think like when they're fighting Thanos and trying to hold him down and stuff when they're on that planet, where
Hmm.
he eventually gets dusted? I'm like, you think he runs into the symbiote here somewhere?
I
I'm
remember that being a theory at that time.
like that would have been really well done because like have it like don't have it like transform, but like have it attached to him, and then like they deal with it after.
Yeah.
Like how cool would it have been like in the end game scene when the portals are opening and everyone shows up and Wong's like, "You wanted more?" How cool would it have been if the symbiote snuck in through the portal, attached to Peter, but doesn't do anything to him, just stuck sticks to him, and
Yeah.
then that's eventually the story that where No Way Home ended up being. Or was
Yeah.
that no?
Far
What
From Home.
Far From Home was after? That's right. So we had
Or
two
Far From
movies.
or Far From Home opens with like it looks like a retconning. Here's what you didn't see off screen here. And that it actually attached to Peter in the last movie. It
Yeah,
just we didn't cover it in Endgame because we already had so much going on.
yeah, because how cool of a story would that? We're already pitching a better idea here. Like I think like imagine he's feeling so down at the point that like he kind of failed a little bit. He got dusted. He helped the Avengers. Sure. He lost
Mhm.
Tony Stark in it. What better rage fuel than to be like, I need to avenge Tony because he
Mm.
was like my father figure. And they said they gave us that freaking that Tony Stark glasses side story with freaking Mysterio, which again, Mysterio I thought was pretty well done. I like the
Hmm.
whole aspect. Like, I think that one of the best Spider-Man scenes of all time is him with the hallucinations going through like
Oh
the snow
yeah.
globe and everything, and you think it's
Hmm.
over, and then it keeps going.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome the way they did that. But yeah, it was just but it'd be I think that you missed the bus on potentially slowly building the symbiote story a little
Hmm.
bit and then moving forward because like again they do it differently every way. Like the Spider-Man 2 game, they did it very differently.
Hmm.
They made Harry Osborn the host,
Mm.
which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But which is I hope they don't do that in the MCU because
Hmm.
like because this build up Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
He's working at Jonah Jameson's podcast or whatever
Yeah.
he's doing,
Yeah.
and Eddie Brock is like a key grip or something,
Yeah.
and they become friends because the thing they miss with I could talk about Spider-Man for hours. I can talk about Venom for hours.
Mm.
Venom doesn't need to be a character that tries to take over the world. Venom, in a lot of cases, just wants to fuck up Peter's life.
Yeah. And
He
sometimes
doesn't
just do
care.
his own thing.
He
Like
doesn't want to like put symbiote nests around the city and we are Venom. we are taking over everything, Eddie. We're gonna
Yeah.
fucking kill everybody. No, he just wants to
Yeah.
fuck up. Like I want him driving a truck like he did in the cartoon. Remember, he's
Yeah.
driving a truck and he's beeping the horn.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And there was one time where Doctor Doom weaponized Venom. Like it wasn't Venom's choice to take over the city. Doctor Doom just shot him at the Avengers and was like, "Have fun, fuckers,"
Oh
and then
man,
left. And
Doctor Doom better do some crazy shit because that's another one I'm nervous about. I'm a little nervous about Doctor Doom.
yeah, you and I will talk off mic about that one.
It will, yes.
But yeah, when you were saying J. Jonah Jameson, that actually leads into. Do you mind if I go into my next pitch and
Bring it
then you go
on.
into yours?
Yes,
So
yes.
I've had this thought for a few years now. You know, ever since they brought back J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, I've been thinking in my head, give us a Daily Bugle Disney Plus show.
Ooh.
I I think that would be fun, and it's a fun way to use Peter's supporting characters. We have superior foes of Spider-Man to highlight Spider-Man's enemies. The Daily Bugle highlights Peter's friends. I would bring back the actress that played Betty Brant from the Homecoming movies. I would have her there. She'd be like, "Yeah, I'm working with the Daily Bugle. Granted, I don't agree with Mr. Jameson's politics, but hey, you know what? It's good. It's surprisingly good money
She
here."
wants to be a reporter. That's her whole thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that, but what makes it better is, you can and is working with Joe Robbie Robertson, and you cast a prominent black actor as Joe Robbie Robertson. I don't know who. I I know he voiced Norman Osborn in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, but I think Coleman Domingo would be kind of
I think that could be cool.
it would be kind of a good Joe Robbie Robertson. He has such a friendly face,
Mm.
and that's what I think of Joe Robbie Robertson. He's a friendly face. Yes, he works with Jonah, but he's also the guy that keeps Jonah in check.
Well, you know who I think Coleman Domingo should have been.
Ooh,
Between him and possibly, did you watch Severance at all?
no, I don't think I did.
Very good show. If you ever get the opportunity to watch it.
Severance.
Very good. There's a guy, Tremel Tillman. Between them, Tillman and Coleman, they should have been a replacement for King the Conqueror. Because the
Mm,
one big thing that pissed me off about the MCU was the fact that they were so lazy and
yeah.
were and desperate to be like to obviously you have these issues that happened in real life
Hmm.
in this court case,
Hmm.
and yeah, we don't want to work with you anymore. But
Yeah.
usually, traditionally, it's like they're. I'll just go right out and say it. I said it on my podcast before as well, where my co-host is a man of color as well, who agreed with me. Why are they so afraid to recast people of color and but go right away and recast somebody who's white? Why did
That's
they, as soon as what's his name died, Harrison Ford, you're going to be Thunderbolt Ross now? 'Cause we
yeah.
need Thunderbolt Ross. King the Conqueror, the story that was so important right now,
Yeah.
just got cut short
Hmm.
because of something that happened.
Yeah.
And you could have easily recast it and kept going.
Yeah.
Instead, you had him go out like a bitch and get killed by Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And
And then we'll
then
never know what happened to the rest of them.
and like Loki was really well done. We had the other version of Kang as well in Loki season 2 and
Hmm.
season 1. Um so you just said, "Nah, we're just going to keep on moving forward and we're going to do Doctor Doom, and not just anyone playing Doctor Doom. You're going to get Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah. That's the
who
one that really like rubbed salt in the wound for
I'm still
me.
I'm convinced I'm still trying to convince myself it's not real and that he's just going to end up being a superior Iron Man,
That'd be fine.
which would be perfect.
Hmm.
That is what they should do. Make him superior Iron Man, who's like it's evil Tony Stark,
Yeah.
and cast somebody else. Like I'm excited to see Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
but not like this.
Hmm.
Especially when you had the Kang Dynasty coming, and you had like all
Yeah.
this. Like Kang is such a scary character.
Yeah. What's funny is I remember I follow a lot of like comic book YouTubers, and they were saying, look, Kang was never interesting in the first place. Like they were like, I've read Kang stories. None of them are good except Kang Dynasty. They're like, we don't care about Kang. If you just gave us Doctor Doom, we'll forgive everything. And then they got Doctor Doom. And they were like, oh, hey, finally you did what I told you to do. It's Robert Downey Jr. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. And I was like, this is one of the few times where you shouldn't have listened to the fans. Because
Hmm.
now you just cut it off short. And, and now this is what we got. We got our monkey's paw.
Yeah, and like it's going to be like so odd. Again, I compare it to wrestling. Last WrestleMania, we just had WrestleMania this past weekend, which was okay, but WrestleMania 40 was last year.
Hmm.
And the build up to that was there was this title shot. It was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. The whole story was Roman Reigns had the title for almost like 2 years, I think.
Hmm.
Cody Rhodes was trying to come up and win the title off him because it was the title that his father tried to win when he was wrestling, and he lost it because of a stupid stipulation. So Cody's like, I want to win it and finish the story and have that family that title in my family.
Hmm.
And the storyline that proceeded was Dwayne The Rock Johnson came back and put a wrench in everything and was trying to steal Cody's WrestleMania moment and having, you know, fucking big shot Hollywood take over. And so it felt that's what it felt like to me when I saw RDJ show up. I'm like, this reminds me of The Rock coming back,
Hmm.
where it's like you have this guy who's already established,
Hmm.
someone who said he was never going to come back. And people were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, isn't Joe Rogan? He said he would never come back as Iron Man." No, he said he would never come back because he doesn't need to. But you know
Yeah.
what talks louder than fucking podcasts? It's fucking money.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's pay RDJ stupid money to come back because we're desperate because our Kang apparently is abused his significant other, and we feel like
It,
it's a waste of time to recast that.
yeah. And what's weird is like even after like they announced like uh the RDJ thing, uh there was still like things that I think changed about that court case. Like, so to me, I still have no idea if like did he truly do it or not. I have no clue, and I honestly don't care anymore.
Yeah,
But
I think they ruled it that he was ended up being innocent. I don't know,
I
but
don't know, and
I
I
think
kind of
now
don't
he's
care
good.
anymore.
But yeah, but either way, it's like just move on with somebody else. Like I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
It's confusing.
And so, and I know with my Daily Bugle show, like yeah, I think like I know, like we were saying earlier, like Coleman Domingo. I think he could be a pretty good Joe Robbie Robertson. Give a friendly face, and throughout the show, like you'd have like little characters come in. That's the one where I would have Spider-Man, like Peter Parker, show up.
Mm.
He'd be like, "I need money. I'm not taking it. Like I'm not taking. I might try to get videos of Spider-Man, like not photos, but videos." Or something. Like I haven't thought that part all the way through, but like Tom wouldn't be a prominent character in the show. He would just be in there here and there. But J. Jonah Jameson's the main character, and what I would do is just try to make him a more sympathetic individual, more like the Raimi, than just make him like an Alex Jones, rip off. Which some people have like mixed feelings about like J. Jonah Jameson. They either are like, I want him to be a sympathetic villain or a sympathetic character, or no, I just want him to be a straight up asshole. I don't care about him. And for me personally, I like a three-dimensional Jonah. Like I'm kind of tired of like villainous Jonah the whole time.
My question for you in that: would you consider mixing up that Scorpion side
Mm.
story.
Oh, yep, that's exactly where I was going.
There we
Like
go.
he would I think something would happen. And I would also include like I've actually read a little bit of like Stanley, Steve Ditko, Spider-Man, so I would have the big man show up throughout the show, like Frederick
Nice.
Foswell, and
Yeah.
he would be the main villain of the show, and stuff would happen that Spider-Man has to like get involved and intervene, and uh Robbie gets hurt. Not dead, just hurt, and Jonas snaps and is like, "Hey, Mac Gargan," and we bring back Michael Mando. I like him,
Nice.
so just bring him back. He's like, I want you to get this guy. I want you to kill Spider-Man. And and like he doesn't give Scorpion like the suit or anything like that. Like Scorpion already like acquires it throughout the show. Like he'll be a character throughout the show too,
Mm.
throughout the first season. But yeah, and then Robbie wakes up and Jonah's just like, "What have I done? I'm a monster." And like it just throughout the and I could see this show going on for like 3 seasons, something like that.
Okay.
And I would just also bring up like his son John, where he's like, my I have a problem with masked vigilantes because and I'm taking a little bit from Ultimate here and a little bit from main continuity, where Ultimate he's like, my son died in space and I never got a body to bury, and they just told me it's classified. And like he was a hero, and he didn't get recognized. Meanwhile, this guy who nobody knows, who wears a mask and runs around breaking the law, gets all the praise. Why is that fair? Why does my son not get the praise when this vigilante does? And you kind of like I understand where you're coming from. Like it really like oh, that's kind of sad. Like he's just a dad that misses his son and just has his asshole moments. But what would happen is at the end of season one, like Jonas starts making his peace. He's still like, I don't like Spider-Man. I'm not gonna publish as much fake news, but if I see Spider-Man doing something, I'm calling it out. And it's and so he gets a arc and becomes Spider-Man's number one supporter at the end of the show, in my opinion. That's where I would take it.
Mm.
But season two, he fi his son comes to him and he's like, "Dad, I've been in locked up in like Shield or Sword, whatever you want to pick, that for like the past few years. I missed you, Dad." And he's just like, "Oh my God, my son is back." And he's like, "You also got to be careful, son. I hear there's something going around at night, like killing people and leaving like scars. It looks like a cougar attacked or something." And then you find out, and like halfway through the season, that John Jameson is the man wolf at night.
Whoa.
So that would be my little integration. And then Joan is like, I don't know. How am I gonna? My son's a werewolf. I don't know how I can pin this one on Spider-Man. Like it's just this thing of, but yeah, like that would just be it. Like just doing like the rest of the weird fun stuff. And that's kind of where it would be like, and I would do like journalistic stuff, like just like a newsroom thing. Because I think you definitely could have something to say with Jonah and stuff like that. And maybe be a thing of like, we're not so different, all of us. A lot of us are divided, but we're not as different. And some of us need to grow and some of us need to change. And maybe some of us are okay the way we are. And it's up to you to decide where we are, audience, you
Damn.
know? But yeah, that's my little like thing for uh the Daily Bugle. What do you think, Mario?
No, I like that. I like that idea a lot. And like just the yeah, surround that character a little more. You get your Spider-Man involvement here and there. But yeah, again, there's so many aspects of the Spider-Man universe that you can just we could pull up like shows for years.
Mm-hmm.
For years, we could do different shows, whether it be the Daily Bugle, Superior Foes of Spider-Man, things that are Spider-Man adjacent, and you could have content forever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Disney's not smart enough or
Not
brave
willing to
enough to
pay
do that.
enough.
It's like, come on, like you're printing money here because we talk about like characters you don't know. Everybody knows Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. You show up an image of him, you're gonna know who it is. You say his name, everyone knows Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So there's so much content that you can make out of it. Like, I mean, make it like my show that I want made.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple pitch. Make Spider-Man 98. Make the events after the original cartoon, just like you did with X-Men 97.
Mm.
Do Spider-Man, or no, it'd be, I think would it be 98? I don't know. But we saw Spider-Man for a split second in X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple times see him as Peter with MJ.
Yeah.
You see him in the suit. You see dozens of other heroes show up for split seconds. But right there is printing money because
Yeah.
if you can't make it happen on the live action silver screen, you can make it in animation. I think animation is the future right now when it
Mm.
comes to Marvel, especially for TV. Keep
Yeah.
the movies live action. I appreciate the shows you're making like Daredevil, but I'm not appreciating stuff like She-Hulk and stuff like that. It just missed. It
Or even
just
Moon Knight for
missed.
me. I feel like Moon
Yeah,
Knight kind of missed for me personally.
it did. No, I think it did. I think I was bought in for the first couple episodes, and then it lost me. It really lost me, and I was like really wanting more out of it. But I thought it was still well for what it was best you could do. But like you look at the highest grossing Marvel things recently, especially recently, because not all the movies are doing good.
Yep.
Captain America wasn't really received well completely. The Marvels, obviously, all that.
I mean,
But
Brave New World made its money back. Not a
yeah, it
lot,
definitely
but
did. But it's like people aren't excited to go see MCU movies anymore. They will be when
yeah,
Fantastic Four happens.
I hope so. Mm.
But like, I know maybe three people that are hyped to see Thunderbolts,
Mm,
but not for the reasons that we you would think. It's just because they're like, oh, it's gonna look, it looks fun. They don't know
yeah.
anything about the characters. They're like, that looks
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, I'm mainly excited for Sentry.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be dope. But like, I hope
Yeah.
they do it right.
Yeah, that'd be good. Please.
But
And he's gonna be in Doomsday.
yeah, so let's see what they do there. But like, when I'm like looking at like the numbers they did with Marvel lately, the best stuff has been animated.
Hmm.
We talk about X-Men 97, put X-Men back on the map, really. Like, people, it was a good X-Men year
Oh
last
yeah.
year, and it's going to be. We're now with what how we're eating now with the new Avengers movie, but like X-Men 97, banger. Um, the Spider-Verse movies,
Yeah.
banger, great movies. None of those
Hmm.
movies, like those first two movies, are great.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
we have a third one coming out. Like, what a great cliffhanger in that second one.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to like we just had the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. People liked it. I didn't think a lot of people were like, people complain about their freaking stupid shit. Oh, it's very woke. Like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever, grow up. But
Yeah.
it still did well. People still enjoyed it, and it was like a cool way to be like, wow, how else are we gonna get Spider-Man and Doctor Strange on a TV show?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Captain America shows up for like, no, Iron Man shows up for a second. Captain America shaking hands with Norman Osborn. Crazy. That's the stuff I want to see.
Yeah.
But you're just not going to get it with the way Marvel's working, just because of this, the legal stuff and whatever else. So I mean, I think we're getting there. But when we hit this, hopefully this reboot of the MCU where we just start clean. The first MCU was started by with Iron Man. We had
Hmm.
Iron Man, and we're with this. I think the next MCU should start with Spider Man. Start with Spider Man, and build your world around that. Be like,
Yeah,
I'm not the only hero around, and then you introduce Captain America, Iron Man, all that other stuff. Because it's like I hate that Spider Man doesn't have to be a freaking fanboy of the Avengers. Just have him be like his own
yeah,
thing for a while. I mean, like look at the Raimi movies and the Andrew Garfield movies. It's like
yeah.
Spider Man was the only hero.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I prefer Spider-Man being in a world filled with other heroes, so he has something so that he can be compared and people will be like, he's the best of the best. You mean the guy that
Agreed.
just swings webs? Yes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like I think that's why I think that's why they try to overbook him, put him in space, and do all these other crazy things. And I feel like they don't think he
Yeah.
can roll with them. But like, my God, the things Spider-Man has done in the books, like you don't
Hmm.
understand. Like it's like you can't just have him like just tussle with I love that scene in Infinity War when Ebony Moss and whatever comes down and like it's Iron Man and Strange taking care of it and Spider-Man shows up and he's helping and have a nice street level fight who's helping out and that's like that's what I want, man, is have
Hmm.
that happen.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Every single Marvel movie is like a fucking spectacle.
Mm.
Even the Marvels was like a spectacle. It's like has to be this massive thing that it comes to in the end where we're opening these multiversal portals. Like the multiverse storyline is what really started to fuck up the MCU.
Yeah.
It's just like now you're just like which is what fucked up the DC shows. Like I was a big fan of the CW shows,
Me too.
Flash, Green Arrow, all that,
Hmm.
and then they started doing Flashpoint. It's never Flashpoint is never a good time. It rarely is.
I mean, for me, I think it's always a good story, but
Yeah, but if done well, like some
done
of the
well.
cartoons have done well. I
Yeah.
think the CW show did it okay because then we got moments where like Kevin Conroy showed up and played Batman for a second, live
Yeah.
action, crazy.
What's funny is I remember when they did Flashpoint briefly in like season 3 of The Flash, where Barry just went back in time and everyone was different. But I was expected, and Wally was the Flash or whatever, and I was just like, where's where's Thomas Wayne Batman? Where's gun-toting roided up Cyborg? Where's skinny Superman? Where's the Atlantean Amazonian War? And they're like, oh, we can't afford that on a shoestring budget. I'm like, then why are you doing Flashpoint?
Yeah, I was waiting for it, man, when they were doing the regular DC movies when in Batman v Superman you get to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan
Yeah.
as Thomas Wayne, and I
Hmm.
was like, because I always was for a while. I was like, why did they put Jeffrey Dean Morgan? Why are they wasting his time? And then the mom, Martha, was actually what's her name for Walking Dead as well.
Yeah. And she
They
was
had a
also with and she
they
was also
actually
in Supernatural with Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
yeah, and I think they actually had a Walking Dead spinoff show with the both of them together, which is hilarious.
Mm.
It's a lot of crossover there. So I thought they were going to like Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne in a Flashpoint thing, but it never happened because that totally flopped, and that part of DC's dead now. Uh, so uh, so hopefully we get somewhere cooler with the Spider-Man side of things as well,
Hmm.
and because a part of me wants this part of Spider-Man to die too, so we get a new Spider-Man. Because I'm just like again, it kind of did. Tom Holland is potential to be a fresh Spider-Man, but only the future will tell.
Yeah, and we could go on for hours and hours and hours, but I gotta start getting ready for work in the morning. But
I know it's
so,
late. We could go on for days. Like we
oh,
we we've
absolutely.
been going for an hour and a half. This is tremendous.
Yeah, no, this has been so much fun. Any last things you want to wrap up?
Uh, hoping for good Spider-Man content in the near future. Hoping we get a hard reset on the MCU, and 'cause I just want some fresh, simple stuff to watch and not have my head hurt every time I go to the cinema. That's all I
Fair
want.
enough. And I love your idea for Spider-Man 98. That'd be great. Christopher
Let's
Daniel
go.
Barnes needs to come back, and
Yes.
we just forget about the whole Mary Jane fell through a portal thing.
Yeah, I mean, she came back. We saw her in X-Men
Yeah.
'97, so she's just don't let it explain it. She just came
The
back. Cool.
the show opens with him being like, "Man, that was a crazy adventure." By the way, on to the next thing. Da, 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 da.
X, and there we go.
And so, yeah, thank you so much, Mario. This has been so fun.
Anytime, man. I had a blast coming on here and talking Spider-Man with you. I love it.
Yeah, we got to do it again. I think we should do like our own MCU show.
Hell
Like
yeah.
our like I got some ideas and I think you might like it. We'll talk a little bit about it.
Heck yeah.
But so before we wrap up here, you want to plug in anything?
Yeah, you guys can catch me on Friggin Nerds Media over on YouTube. We post a lot of movie related stuff over there and some gaming stuff as well. And also, of course, listen to Connery Curious over on Spotify and YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, where me and my friend Dylan watch and review every single movie in the Sean Connery filmography. We're almost done. We got like 4 or 5 episodes left to record, and so we're finally getting to the end of that show, and we're both excited and sad and happy because it's been such a fun ride.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can catch me on all the socials there under Friggin Nerds. And yeah, this has been a blast.
Yeah, you gotta I only request that you have me watch Sir Billy with you guys.
Oh, we're planning a whole. I'll talk to you about afterwards. We have a whole live situation we're trying to plan. So hopefully we'll have other people watching with us as well.
And that's all the time we got on the show. Thank you so much again, Mario. This has been so fun. You can catch him at Friggin Nerds Media. This has been the Lex Talks Stuff podcast. Thank you all so much for listening on this really special and wonderful episode. I'm on Spotify and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. For TikTok for God knows how long until they decide to shut that down again and then lie to us again. But uh, but so thank you all so much. Thank you for listening and have a good day. All right, bye.
Peace.
Bye. Thwip, thwip, thwip,
Whip, whip.
thwip.